This is Luke Overton going over our data for our Ed Reform project in urban education, specifically targeting and highlighting the St. James School District. So, first section that we are going to take a look at is our standardized test scores. At St. James, when we take a look at these test scores, we will notice a lot of things. The first thing that we will notice when we are comparing, so this section right here, we are specifically looking at between the years of 2021 and 2024. That is the data that I was able to get from my administrator, is our students who are below basic, basic, proficient, and advanced. Just a quick look at this, we noticed that our 2021 scores are actually somewhat improving. Kind of. We have less below basic than we did in 2021. However, our basic does increase and our proficient and advanced dramatically decreases. So this right here is a win. While this right here is obviously not. Now, when we take a look at some of our future data sets, we can actually see specific student groups. So when we talk about student groups, what we are specifically highlighting and mentioning is students who may be special education is a common one, low in low or free and reduced lunches, low socioeconomic status. And also, on top of that, students of different races and ethnicities, so minorities. And something that we do quickly, very easily see here is that the students in our student groups, both at the building in LEA, stands for districts around us. That's what that represents. And then at the state level, they all perform worse than just the whole student population whenever we take a look at that. So at St. James, that's definitely still true. The state has a little bit higher level when we compare these two. Our building is lower. However, they're still not performing to the same standard as our students in a whole student population, which is something that we definitely need to fix and address because that is not okay. Moving on, this is another data set for a different year, and you notice again the same problems for our student groups and comparing them to our all students. The student groups significantly perform lower than our all students in this specific data set. So something that we see is that student groups perform much lower in standardized testing than the average entire population. This is a state problem, but it's also a St. James problem as well. Moving right along, we have our referral data. Now, we have several sets of referral data here. This is a list of specific students and their referrals. We've obviously blocked out their names for some of their HIPAA and safety regulations there that have to go with that. But the thing that we notice whenever we take a look at these is a majority of our students are white. Over 90% of the St. James School District is white. This graph right here tells us that it's about 93%. And a majority of these referrals within the school are for white students. So it's not necessarily good that students are getting referrals, but it's good that a majority of our referrals reflect that data. And there's not a disproportionate of students who, like you see here, we only have 2.5% of Black or African American students. If they were getting 50 or 80% of our referrals, that's when we would notice a severe problem. Something else that I noticed whenever we did look at our referral data is the fact that a majority of our students who get referrals are repeat offenders. So it's not like we have a wide spread of students getting a referral here, referral there. You might have one here or there, but for the most part, most of our referrals are coming from the same section of students, and most of them are our white students. Now, as we look at school attendance, we can see several things here within the attendance that could also raise some concerns. We have our proportional attendance rate and our chronic absenteeism. So the absenteeism is one that I want to highlight. And again, 73 of the 78 chronic absentee students are white students. And again, not necessarily good that it's occurring, but it's good that it's proportional. However, when we look at it, something else that I didn't mention in the referral that I meant to as well is a majority of our referrals are coming from male students. So this is a little over half, which that is in, like, I mean, when most of the time boys do typically act out and are a little bit more rambunctious, so that is something that could be considered. However, investigating and finding out why are males receiving a disproportionate amount of referrals or absenteeism, as it shows here, as again, they are over half. So that's something to consider. Something else is free and reduced lunch we have exactly 50 in this chart right here, which is concerning. But at the same time, St. James, 90% white, it's also over 90% a free and reduced school program. So that kind of makes sense that we're going to have over half of those students who are chronic absenteeism also falling under that free and reduced lunch, as we are an incredibly low socioeconomic school. Moving along, we have school attendance. These are some of the points that I've already highlighted, so we're going to go ahead and head on to climate and culture. Now, we have several graphs here, and you can draw a lot of viewpoints and a lot of assumptions from this. But the thing that I want to highlight is when you look at these, they're kind of all over the place. There's not one category that's kind of really taking over, besides money and I don't know. Those are the two that I want to highlight in my final conclusion on culture and climate, which also leads into my final conclusion with root causes. We're a really, really impoverished school. We're also majority white. But the thing is that my conclusion that I found is a majority of our students have an apathy that I think comes from the culture and climate as well. There's not a high value on education. And I think that is one of the major root causes. Is something that we've got to look into, besides just the fact that we are majority white and low socioeconomic income. There is a sense of apathy, and I would love to research that more. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you all later. Remember, the world's a better place with you guys in it. Thank you.